Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Good You. It's that time of year again, the beauty of Christmas and all the magic of the season it brings with it. A season of giving and love. A time to reflect on good times and memories from the years long past. And in the spirit of reflecting, today, with the company of some of my closest friends, we are going to dive into some of our favorite Christmas memories. So go ahead and grab a nice warm cup of cocoa, fire up that Yule log, and settle in with us for a few minutes as we remember some of our absolutely amazing Christmases.
So, hey guys, this is my favorite Christmas memory. It's not on Christmas specifically, but it's Christmas themed, like close to Christmas. It's not going to be like a big sappy story or anything. It's just something kind of funny that I always had in my head. So my mom came home one day with all the Christmas presents and went into her room to hide them, you know, like, don't look in here, your Christmas stuff's in here. And I went full like Splinter Cell, or like, you know, some kind of secret person, and snuck in there to like look at my presents. And I found this guy. I found a Tigatron from B-Stores, my favorite show, still my favorite show. This is an actual one from like 96, by the way. Not the one I found, my original one I opened. But yeah, I found this, and I didn't even know Tigatron had a toy, and he's always been my favorite character, so I was pretty, you know, excited about it, and I had to keep it on the down low for like a couple weeks that I knew it was there, and I wanted to play with it so bad, and I knew I couldn't, you know, until Christmas. But yeah, I always love the memory of me sneaking in and finding my Tigatron that I can't open yet. Yeah, nothing too crazy, but I enjoy that memory. Thank you, Sega Blocks, for having me, and I'll see you guys later.
This is Justin, aka Deeb, and my friend, and probably your friend too, Blocks, asked me a question. He asked, what is my all-time favorite video game related Christmas present? And this was personally a very easy question to ask, or to answer. Christmas 1993, under the tree at my grandparents' house we went to for Christmas Eve was a Super Nintendo. Now, this was cool because that year they were doing a promotion where not only did you get the Super Mario World game that came with it, you also could send away for Super Mario All-Stars, and my grandparents had done that in time to have it wrapped under the tree with the system. So, you know, here I got Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars. This is not the original, my original games, unfortunately. This is, you know, the Mario All-Stars Mario World one. I got both of those, and which was so cool, you know. I mean, I never had Super Mario Brothers 3 either for NES, so I mean, this was just an amazing, you know, set of games. And then my parents knew that I was getting the Super Nintendo, so what they did for Christmas the next day, they had two games for me, and those games were EVO, which is a lesser known game, but it's amazing. This is a reproduction cart. It's a cool game. It's from a lot of people who made Dragon Quest games, and it's a kind of an action RPG where you level up your main, you start as a fish, and then eventually you end the game as a human. That's the goal. So you have to evolve and go through these levels, and it's a really unique game, really cool. And the other game that got me was Mortal Kombat. And at that point, I hadn't heard too much about Mortal Kombat. I don't think they covered it very much in Nintendo Power. And that one was great. It's pretty funny because Mortal Kombat ended up being the game that the whole family played together all the time. It was pretty funny, you know, coming home from my friend's house or something and seeing my mom, you know, practicing Mortal Kombat, you know, just, you know, trying to get better. And so that was the game that we got a lot of playtime together as a family, which, you know, contrary to all the controversy that was going around at the time about the game, kind of shows, you know, that it's a bunch of BS. You know, that one really brought us together. So I got a ton of good memories with that Christmas. You know, that was a gift that really meant a lot to me. And I was actually able to tell my grandparents a few years ago before they passed that, you know, that was a really special gift, and it really meant a lot to me. So that was nice to be able to tell them that. And, you know, they were surprised. You know, they're like, oh, really? You know, Super Nintendo? I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, like, here now I'm almost 40 years old and I still love this stuff, you know, and a lot of it, you know, you can trace back to that, you know, it's my favorite system. So a few years back, Hallmark did a little Christmas ornament, Super Nintendo. For a lot of people, it's probably just, you know, oh, it's cool, it's something they like. But, you know, for me, you know, being that, you know, such a meaningful present, you know, it has some extra meaning to me. So I'll end it with that.
Hey everyone, this is Steve from Gamer Stranded. So I've had the honor of Scott asking me what my favorite Christmas memory would be. There's a lot, I don't know. It seems like every year there's probably a new memory formed, especially that I have a wife and 2 kids now. So I'm gonna limit this one just to gaming. Specifically, I remember back, and this would have been like the mid-90s, so the Sega CD was probably just going away at this time. And my mom, who's no longer with us, got me one of probably my most prized possession in my entire collection, and my favorite game of all time, and that's Snatcher. I love this game. I love everything about this game. It's my favorite game of all time, like I said. And yeah, I don't know, it just holds more meaning to me, if that makes any sense, than just like a physical disc that I would just pop into a system, you know. I don't know, there's some sort of, you know, emotional attachment to it, almost with my mom and stuff too, and just, yeah, I'm just grateful to have it. I don't know, grateful that she got it for me. I do know that this is the exact same copy that I rented several times from the video store, and I think she bought it for, it was probably like around like 15 to 20 bucks when they like liquidated everything. So yeah, there you go, Scott. Snatcher for Sega CD, one of my best memories. Thanks again for having me.
So I've been contemplating about what my favorite Christmas memory is, and I think I've come to an answer. To give some context, I've been moving around pretty much half my life. Whether it's because of work or studies, I've rarely been able to settle down for longer periods of time, and thus rarely been able to visit my family. And one of the most important persons in my life is my little sister. Luckily, we do get to spend every Thursday evening together through video chatting and of course playing video games. Whether it be Monster Hunter or Guild Wars 2, we just enjoy playing co-op together and talking to each other, and of course just enjoying each other's company. Though when Christmas comes around, that's the time when I actually get to take a couple of days off and visit my family. Though the journey homewards can often be quite long, usually takes between 12 to 14 hours, and I thus arrive late in the night, if not 2 o'clock in the morning. And I do remember a lot of small things me and my sister do, like going to cafe or playing D&D together around Christmas time, but what I always remember is the day after, when I wake up from my long journey and realize that I get to spend time with her in the same room. And all of these memories from every time I come home become stronger by every year, and makes me appreciate my time with her even more as I grow older.
Hey everybody, it's Fem Trooper. Thank you, Scott, for having me on your video today. I'm so excited to talk about my very favorite Christmas memory ever. So far, nothing seems to top 1998's Christmas for me. I don't know. I think it's just because of the whole Pokemon phenomenon that took place that year. But 1998 is when I got my Game Boy Color and Pokemon Blue, and it was insane. For starters, I got the Game Boy Color. That was my big Santa gift. It was there, unwrapped. I thought, oh my goodness. And then under the tree, I found Pokemon Blue, which was amazing, and I was so excited to start it. I wasn't really sure if I would like it or not, but I was just excited. And then once I started that journey, it was like, it clicked. I couldn't stop playing, and you know, we used to go to my grandma's house every year. I brought it there. My cousin also had Pokemon Blue, so the only thing we did was sit on the couch and play Pokemon. To everyone else, they probably just saw two little kids staring at their Game Boys like this, but I was in, like, I was transported in another world. Honestly, 1998 Christmas it's just the best, because I was a Pokemon freak, fanatic, still am, and that is what kind of made me, you know, as obsessed with Pokemon as I am now, and made me like JRPGs. So that was the beginning of that. I had played some JRPGs on the Super Nintendo, but nothing, you know, solidified it the way that Pokemon did, and that Christmas and that week, that you know, probably months, I ended up playing it after that, but I just remember that day, and it was so exciting. I can't speak highly enough about it. It was just fantastic. 1998 Christmas really, truly had so much magic in it, and I won't ever forget it. It was so exciting. That was one of the most, you know, amazing gifts to receive. It's just a game, but for some reason it changed me as like a gamer, and you know, that's one of my big interests now. So, you know, knowing how it started and where it came back, and like my roots as like a JRPG fan, I mean, it's there. It's 1998 Christmas. Thank you again, Scott, for having me on your video. This is awesome. I have my own channel. Come check it out. It's FemTrooper on YouTube, and I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas.
So thanks everyone for chiming in and, you know, sharing just some amazing stories. You know, some really great stories about some toys that you all had, or, you know, about family and love, and it's just amazing, and I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot, guys, for sharing. So now I'm here to talk about one of my favorite memories, which I can't remember the exact date. I know I could give a ballpark number. I think it was like 98, I believe. I really, really wanted a Game Boy Color, and I came from a really poor family, and you know, the magic of, you know, asking Santa for things, and kept my hopes up, you know. And my parents kept telling me, no, we can't afford this. And my grandmother, being the sweet lady that she is, actually did something at the time that was a little disappointing, and I regret how I felt at the time, but now it's one of the most beautiful things that ever happened to me in my life. And that's the same year I wanted the Game Boy. I remember I opened up all my presents at home and didn't receive the Game Boy. So, you know, I still got some good stuff, you know. Obviously I'm a Lego fan and I love that, and I got some other things. But the one thing that wasn't under the tree was that Game Boy I wanted so desperately. And I remember going to my grandma's house a little bit later after we opened our own presents at home, and she had told us all, you know, that there were some gifts for us, as we always did, and we were opening stuff, and then my grandma handed me this extra thing that looked to be, you know, in the shape, kind of, in a Game Boy. So I got really excited, and I was opening it, and I opened it, and inside was a box for I don't know if it was Tiger brand now, because I don't have it now for the life of me, I can't remember, but it was one of those Tigers, like similar Tiger LCD type handheld games, and I can remember it being soccer, and it had a joystick rather than buttons, but it came in a box, you know, and I thought for sure it was in my Game Boy. But at the time, you know, I was a little disappointed, and because my gram, you know, she saw the look on my face, she said, oh, I thought that's what you wanted, you know. And bear in mind, my gram was from the Depression days, so she was old school. If my gram was still living now, she would be pushing 100 years old, so she had no idea what a Game Boy even was. But, you know, she tried, and just the thought of it really, you know, now thinking back on it, just really melts my heart. And if there's anyone in this world that I wish was back with me, was my grandma. I'm sorry to get emotional, but you know, it's memories like that that I really hold on to, and I wanted to share with all of you guys. I know I get a little teary-eyed, and I'm not afraid to hide it from the world because I love this woman so much. But you know, just the thought of her really trying to fulfill something, you know, in my life, and she did her best that she could, and she thought that's what she was doing. But funny enough, the following year, from my other grandma, I actually had received the teal blue Game Boy Color, which I still own to this day. And but it was just that memory of my grandma really, you know, doing her best to, you know, do what she thought was right to make my Christmas special. And thinking back on it, it's probably one of the most beautiful Christmas memories I have. But thank you all for watching. Thanks to all my friends for joining in on this collaboration. I loved each and every one of your Christmas memories. They were beautiful. And, you know, I hope everybody out there watching, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, the best holiday, the best New Year. And thanks for watching. It would not be doing this without all of you. So you guys know the drill. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.